Welcome back, chillers. It's ChilledCore, Caleb, coming back to you with episode 2 of the Minecraft Hardcore Survival series. I believe, whenever we left off, it's been a week since I played or something like that, we had just settled on this area to sort of settle down, get our first base going, maybe get some farms running, and then once we get a good little settlement going, we will explore the world, maybe see what we can find, see if there's any dangerous things that we can get into, and sort of run from there. So I believe what I will do in this episode to start off is possibly clear a little bit of this plot area and then maybe build something on it or start working on a mine at the base of this mountain, because I see there's caves over there and I see there's some caves down there, and I know we passed some, but I don't really want to go caving right away and end up dying immediately. So I think I might just do some digging, or maybe go down and get some food or a farm going, and then start mining right away, and then I might time-lapse some things here and there. I'm going to try and figure that out with my video recording. But let's just start off by doing a little bit of digging, and if I do enough of it that I think it needs a time-lapse, I will time-lapse it, and we will be right back. So I'm just going to keep it running, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I think that little bit of knocking this hill down is going to be a great start for building our first house whenever we get the materials that we want to work with. I don't necessarily know if we'll build it in this episode, because we might go down and do some mining, but I think this looks pretty decent. It won't be the biggest house. I think if we stay in this area, I might build some sort of bridge over to that mountain, and then I think that would be like a mega base. Like maybe we'd put a castle on top of that or something, and then maybe this would turn into a lookout tower. So I'll have to see what I might be able to get in terms of maybe like block pallets or something like that. And then from there, come up with like a design to put a watchtower. And I know I really like to do like sort of like circular, angular builds. And let me look at the slope of this mountain. So there's sort of like a gradual way down over here. So we probably want our entrance to be on this side, which I'll mark up. And then back here will be like an opening that would probably go for like a bridge over to that island, and then the rest of this will get walled off. Since it's becoming nighttime, let's sleep the night away, and then I think the next thing that we need to get into is possibly settling our food situation. So I know it might be a little bit reckless, but I'm kind of thinking about maybe using these 3 pieces of iron we got in episode 1 to make a bucket to get some water flowing. And then we can make a wheat farm at the very least, so if we need to, we can breed some. Let's see, we got sheep. I thought I saw a cow over here. I think that's a singular cow. So maybe there might be more around, or he might be the only one. Plenty of horses. Okay, there's several cows over there. So we can bring those cows over here and then have ourselves a cow farm as well. So iron, like this, bucket, bada bing, bada boom. We are rocking and rolling, and because I have so much dirt, I'll also get a chest rolling up here. Just to put some of our crud away that we don't need, or that we collected and will use later. Alright, so let's go and get ourselves some water. Also should have burned the wooden pickaxe. We'll do that the next time. Let's go and get ourselves some water. Oh, pardon for the frame rates there. Loading some new terrain this direction, I suppose. And it looks like this entire mountain below is also full of caves. Which, I will say, at least from a technical standpoint for Minecraft, the Caves and Cliffs update kind of hurt making like mob farms and stuff like that, because now there's just so much area you have to light up underground. And for those of you that don't know, and we'll probably get more technical into this later, Minecraft mob spawning works in like one way is that the mobs have to be a certain distance from you. I think it's like 24 blocks, and then there's light requirements. And then on top of that, if I press F3, there's also a mob cap that now I need to look and see. Yeah, so E, I believe, is entities, and so there's a set mob cap for the world. I think hostile and passive mobs in like your area have a set mob cap that cannot be exceeded. And so if you have like all of these dark spaces underground that are spawning hostile mobs, whenever you go to make a mob farm, it's going to be way less efficient because they're going to be spawning down there and taking up your spawns in your mob farm. So whenever you're like building a new mob farm in a world and stuff like that, it's something that you have to consider, is that you're going to have to go underground, try and find all of the caves that are nearby in order to light them up and improve the spawn rates of your mob farm. Otherwise, they're just going to be straight doo-doo, for lack of better terms. Or, there's a way to get around that, and that is to build your mob farm high in the sky or over an ocean, where, like, if I built up super far above these plains, that terrain would despawn, and then whenever it despawns, nothing can spawn there. It doesn't get counted for the mob cap in the world or anything, and then you put your mob farm as high up as you can get it, and now since the area that you put up in the sky is the only spawnable platform for mobs, then they're just going to spawn there and nowhere else, and you're going to get phenomenal spawn rates up in the sky. But that's going to take a lot of blocks and a lot more work later on. So now that we have our first bucket of water, let's get that in the ground, and then we will turn this into an infinite water source so we can do stuff up here. So infinite water sources, there's two ways to do them. You can build a 3x1 trough and put water sources on either side and only take from the middle. Or you can make a 2x2 square, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put a water bucket in each of the corners, and then you can take from any of those four and it'll automatically refill. Once again, it's kind of one of those parts of Minecraft that you know, physically does not make sense. You basically just made an infinite matter generator. And I guess technically in the real world, if you were able to do such a thing where you just made infinite of something, you could make infinite profit. I guess if you constantly bottled that water, I don't necessarily know if people would want to drink the infinite spring water that you made. You might get burned for at the stake from some certain groups out there for being a witch or wizard, engaging in some black magic, if you will. But it's something that's very useful. I personally recommend whenever you have enough iron, you always carry 2 buckets of water on you, so that way you can always make an infinite water source, because you never know whenever you might need it, whether it be like crossing lava pools or anything of that nature. So now that we have our water, what we will do next, and we'll make this prettier over time, but right now I really just want to get a farm going, is down here in this area, because it's kind of flat, we will dig a hole, put our water, and then water works 4 blocks in terms of hydrating the soil from its location, and I believe it's diagonally. So if I go out 4 like that, and then come across, yep. Like that. And if I did that in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 9 square around this, it would all hydrate, and that helps crops grow faster. Now, the rain also hydrates the soil, so that's another thing that you can consider, is that, like, if it's raining, you technically don't need that water source block, but it is what it is. We will also gather these chicken eggs, and I will leave 1 chicken alive, because 1 chicken is all you need to get infinite chickens, because 1 chicken will lay eggs, and then, once again, another part about Minecraft that, you know, doesn't really apply in the real world. If I throw these eggs, eventually they will, they'll spawn a baby chicken. Now, I personally do not recommend going into your mom and dad's, or maybe even your own fridge, if you would ever so desire, and taking out a chicken egg and throwing it against a wall or something like that. It will not, I repeat, it will not make a baby chicken. In fact, it will most likely just make your parents extremely angry. But hey, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If you so choose to do such nefarious things, I just want to make a general statement. I am not responsible for anything that happens afterwards. We clear on that? You got that? Good, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. So now I'm going to make some fences, and we'll do some fence gates. And I'm just going to shove this little guy into a little pen over here, and he's going to be our captive chicken that will make more chickens forever and ever and ever, and that'll be his job. And whenever we get a name tag, we will call him something. I don't know what we'll call him, but we'll call him something. I also am going to have to make this look ugly to keep him in there, because I have 1 too little fences. But you just, don't you worry, buddy. You just come on in here, and you're just gonna, you know, congratulations, you've been upgraded to existing in that pen forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope you enjoy your stay, and here, maybe you'll get a friend. Nope, so, you know how you make eggs? We're gonna need you to, you know, get on that to ensure you get a friend, so, work on it. And with that, another day's in the books. And also, I typed www. Minecraft is probably the greatest game of all time, and that is not debatable. If you debate it, you're incorrect. So let's see. We have done that little clearing. We got a chicken guy. We got a little farm down there. And I said that I was going to start a mine, so let's get our food. And I think we are in a position to go down and hopefully start digging. So let's try and find a good spot for digging to start off with. I really like to make bases on top of mountains and then put like a real like ornate sort of like mine entrance at the base of them. I don't really know like my logic behind why I do that all the time, but like having a base up there and then having like a pathway down and having like a super ornate mine entrance here, to me that always seems super cool. So we're just gonna start digging out a section, and I should have made a shovel for this, but you know what? Bear with me, it is what it is. We're gonna toss that for now. And then, whenever it comes to like mine aesthetics, at least like the initial opening to the mine, I really like to eventually like put some support pillars and some like fence posts that look like you have sort of like, well, more support pillars, and have like lanterns in that whenever eventually we get to those, so that way it looks like an actual like mine shaft of like the olden days. Because obviously we're not going to have like steel beams and like heavy machinery going in and out like actual like coal mine and ore mines have. And now there are some people, I would not prefer to do this. There are some people that do like strip mines in Minecraft, and you know, more power to them. To me, that takes an extremely long time that I'm not a huge fan of. But some people make them look really good, and so I'm not gonna knock them for making a really aesthetically pleasing like strip mine out in the middle of nowhere, like clearing out chunks upon chunks upon chunks of land. But that is something that I do not have enough patience for. But so once we sort of like open this area up, get like a 3x3 tunnel going in, I really go either way. Sometimes I like to make sort of like, I'm gonna call it a staging room that sort of like opens up, that I can put like chests in, furnaces, blast furnaces once we get to that point, some like more decoration, just sort of making it like the opening to a mine where like the miners would come in and start to have like, they might have their morning coffee, they might have little like snack cakes and stuff like that before they start their shift, or after their shift before they go home. They like wash off, especially if you're in a coal mine. You don't want to have that coal dust coming home with you, giving your family black lung. Any coal miners out there, 100% respect. That is a tough job to have, and I don't think it is as appreciated as it should be, because you folks, you're really keeping the lights on. Literally, keeping the lights on. So I might time lapse this some more if I come up with some more to say. I might not. I don't necessarily want to keep you guys through the boring monotony of me sort of clearing out this space. Actually, I think once I clear out this little section here that I've made, what we might do, because we have a decent amount of cobblestone, is I think we'll go up and start to look at maybe what the foundation of the base should look like for the first round, because I will say, a lot of people don't like it. I am quite partial to building with cobblestone. The, like, real... I don't want to say rustic, but the real, like, medieval look it can give to some builds, to me, I think is really cool. Y'all might think I'm weird for that, but hey, it is what it is. So that'll be the start, and then out here, we'll put some, like, which we might have to open this up more, but we'll put some, like, wood. Like, if I grab the spruce logs, which, once again, some of my favorite. So, like, if I'm opening this up, I might, like, come up like this, open that up, and then on the other side, do that. That was not correct, and I don't have an axe, so that's going to take a decent amount of time. Go like this. Come up again. And like this. And so, like, if I clear this here, and I would put, like, cobblestone as the entrance, and then if I had some spruce, like, spruce fence posts or something, and put them across there, that would look super, super good for a start, which actually, let me clear out some space here. Another thing you can do with cobblestone, which is another thing that I really like to use it for, is you can make cobblestone fencing. Now let's see how this might look. So if I put cobblestone back there, and then sort of added that in as a texture, put that up there, then that adds a little bit of texture, like there's a good support beam behind, which I guess technically I don't need to put the ones behind, but oh well, they're already there. Like that. So then that adds some texture as we go in, like those walls are inset. So it's like you have a support beam here that's just like supporting the opening to your mine. And I guess from here, if we wanted, which I will, maybe this is where we could put some dirt above. Do that. And then one second. So if I have that like that, maybe if I, nope. I don't really like that. It might be more of a, might be more to do that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe put that here, like it transitions. And then cobblestone here and here, so like it transitions back to the natural state. And then as we come in here, sorry, crafting table, you gotta go. As we come in here, we can put those sort of posts, and then once we get inside, start, we'll probably have to raise the ceiling again, but then start getting into putting the fence posts across and sort of like reinforcing this area. And then like if we clear out another bit of this wall, Because you don't want all your walls to be flat in Minecraft. You do want to, like, do some offsets, some insets, and stuff like that, so that way there's a little bit more texture to your builds. I think adding that depth is super nice, so if we did, like, support beams like that inset in, then that's going to look a lot more, like, textured and add some more depth to the build. So those are just some building tips that I have. That doesn't look terrible thus far. It definitely doesn't look the best, but I think that's a good start to that area. We can go up and see if our chicken has laid us any presents yet. And honestly, look at that. Let's see if we get you a friend. No, no friends. Keep working on it. Honestly, if you guys have an idea of the name for the chicken, because I will 100% get a name tag and name this chicken for being our first chicken that is just going to be the chicken slave. If you guys want to come up with a name for him, I will 100% be on board with accepting names for the chicken. So let's see, we talked about the entrance to our area being over here. So this is where I just like to lay out what a build shape might take. So if we have like a 2-door entrance here, which maybe we don't even need a door for the entrance, maybe we could make it like a gated entrance if we wanted to go with like a kingdom style. So if we did like a 5-wide entrance up here, which that might have to offset again. Let's see. I got some dirt. So if I extend this out and try and make it look natural. There we go. And I... Oop. Nope, one more. And I know there's people like freaking out because I'm using tools multiple times. I think I'm actually just going to go with the 2-door like that, because then I can offset out here and then sort of follow a contour like this, giving us a 1 offset from the edge of our build space, because then that'll allow us to put some like shrubbery or stuff like that. Bring us a shrubbery. Do an outset there. Inset, inset, inset. Come back along. Yeah, so this might look a little bit wonky originally, but this is just going to get the layout set. And then back here, we'll do, yeah, over to that flat space, we'll do an opening for a bridge to go across. So yeah, this will give us a decent space to work with, and then from this floor layout, I can work on, like, getting an area that would be, like, fit to build a tower up, or maybe we could taper this in and do a tower altogether. It might, given the random shape on the bottom, I am more inclined to do, like, a wizard tower build. So something that's a little bit more, like, chaotic magic sort of look of this just sort of popped up out of nowhere and just sort of like got thrown together, but you have your high point where you're like archmage or whatever you want to call your like high magic individual would be at, like brewing potions and doing his experiments on you know, whatever kind of face, oh, I'm in your head. Whatever kind of face that is. I really don't like the pink where it looks like your mouth is open all the time, so maybe we'll just experiment on that and do some changes. But you can see our wheat's growing. We have a little start to our build area here. We have a little start to the mine down over there. And I believe I will do some work off camera in between this episode and next. And we will see what we can come up with in terms of this build thus far and the mine, or whatever I get done with what time I might have. So, chillers, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment. We want to name this chicken. And if you have any names for any of the other stupid livestock, get off. Any of the other stupid livestock that we have around, feel free. Still working on it. Leave it in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you in the next video. Stay frosty, my friends.